I can see me now. Hey, family. Once again, this is Steve Copeland from the Teen Talk Show. 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 It is frozen. All right, I see it now. I'm gonna try not to be too long. For some reason, because it's not acting right, I kind of feel like maybe it's something I shouldn't talk about. But that's just me. Um, Give me a little bit, family. Work with me, work with me, work with me. Because this is something very, very important to me. So bear with me, bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Yeah. I see me on my Twitter account. All right, I see myself. Thanks, family. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm going to tell you, when you're trying to do the right things, um, y'all know when I come on, right, I'm going to talk about like childhood issues, trauma, and walking us up in the present time today. You get me? And I was on my cousin platform, right? And this lady was saying something about, that little child inside of you that tends to show his butt sometimes and wants to come out and do some destructive stuff as the adult, right? So I was talking about that, you know, basically what I do. And a lot of times, because you go back and you talk about trauma and you help people to heal inside, just for today, focusing on, being at peace today. And that's what my mission is, my purpose, right? So I I don't even want to look. I'm just going to repeat something that was said. I made a statement, and the person was talking about unaliving that 5-year-old child inside of you. Ooh, I'm doing a search on it. Now I pushed it up on my other my phone that I'm recording off now, but I had to go and pull it back up on my iPad. Now I'm talking about like childhood issues that still haunt us from when we was younger through your teenage years into your adult life, right? This is what the teen talk is all about. Giving our youth a voice to be able to talk about those childhood traumas, the ones that's old enough to talk about the things that occurred in their life when they was much younger now. That's why it's important for us as parents to pay real close attention to our children. I say it all the time, right? I say it all the time. You have to pay close attention to your children. So now look, when I was talking about something before I left my cousin panel, this individual says something about, for TikTok's sake, unaliving that 5-year-old child. It's like burying that child. I'm like, huh? That's part of you. And I'm not being smart because that person sounded real good, like they are into the mental health care field. But that's not what they're being taught. Killing off the inner child from trauma, unaliving for TikTok's sake. Now, I'm going to tie this into the bullying. You get me? I'm going to tie it into the bullying that's going on. Often results from desperation and unconscious survival mechanism, such as disassociation, numbing, or perfection, to stop feeling the pain of childhood trauma. The reason why I talk about the childhood trauma, family, and y'all know it, so that you'll have an outlet to talk about some of those things that's stressing you out in the here and now, that's causing you not to have peace in your life, that's causing you to destroy healthy relationships because of childhood trauma. That child will never go nowhere. That teenager will never go nowhere. That young adult will never go nowhere because that's all a part of your makeup as growing through life. To kill a side of you off is to totally just shut yourself out from dealing with life. And life have its challenges. Sometimes your past will come up to haunt you in the here and now. The goal is, how do I cope with it in a more healthier, productive, safer way? That's the whole goal. Teaching people how to deal with their feelings and emotions in a more healthier way. Rather than killing this part, which creates deeper instability, healing involving professional therapy, acknowledge the trauma and practicing self reparenting to meet early unmet needs. And remember a while back when I was talking about, because of the smugs or the drugs and the stuff that I started doing when I was younger. And my mother asked me, Steve, what is wrong with you? Now at that time, because I was busy getting high, I didn't know the words to say, "Ma, I'm hurting inside." I couldn't explain to her at that time what was bothering me because I was too busy sedating my feelings. And I'm only saying this, family, because this is what's happening amongst our children today. Parents, we are the ones that have to do the work in our lives. Everybody didn't go through, I'm going to say, trauma or challenges like some. Everybody wasn't great for TikTok's sake. Everybody wasn't raped, molested, abused. And in certain circumstances, it could have been mentally, emotionally, where they verbally abuse you and beating down your self-esteem. And I shared this on another video that I did. As parents, now watch where a lot of the bullying start from. It starts from home. When you're mistreating your children, when you are abusing your children, it could be physically, once again, mentally, emotionally. What they tend to do, because now they are being torn down, and their goal is to take that out on other people. That's where the bullying starts at. And y'all know I'm going to say it every time I come on here. Every time. Because I have to repeat some of the same things again. So it will sink in. It will eventually sink in for you to understand the proper help that you need to get for yourself and your children. If you one of those parents that grew up in a trauma house, and sometimes, even though they teach us the morals, values, and principles, the good quality of living our life, they say things that will destroy it too. Talking about here. Once you do, and this is what I realized as a parent, verbally, and I said it earlier before, whenever you are talking to your children and you are saying things to them that will lower their self-esteem just with your mouth, After you finish disciplining them with your mouth, you tell them, I love you. I don't want to see you get yourself in trouble. Then you grab them, you hold them, and you hug them. You squeeze them. Because even though you tore them down mentally, emotionally, and their self-esteem, you want to build it back up. But that's where the talking coming in at. To explain to them why. And it's only because I want to see you live a more healthier, productive life. And y'all notice every time I say something at the end, I'll go, I don't want to see you in prison. You get me? I don't want to see us doing things, family, that will send us to that big old slave plant. So I'm looking at bullying, right? And I'm looking at a lot of this which starts at home because of the way some of our children are being treated. And they can only give it back, family. But now, in sharing this on my cousin's platform, when the person talked real good, we was talking about all that. But when they said killing off, unaliving for TikTok's sake, but killing off that 5-year-old, I'm like, what? These are memories, family. These are past life experiences. We tend to go back and visit certain things that occurred in life, rather good or bad. Sometimes it's the bad that tends to depress you. You get me? And those are the things that we really need to work on. Why people attempt to kill the inner child? Disassociation and numbing. Adults often disconnect from their younger self to avoid intense feelings of fear, anger, and shame. And you know, I'm just reading this right because that's what I said about us as adults, right? And then we looking at our own children. Understand, they are growing into becoming adults, right? So we was once there. That's all I'm trying to get to. And it's like because we don't want to face a lot of our bull crap, we can't understand why they doing what they doing. And that's why a lot of times I'll say stuff like this. You don't remember when you was a teenager? Or you don't remember when you was a child? Because a lot of us avoid it. And I kept looking at that. And somebody brought it to my attention as well. Steve, a lot of them are afraid, carrying a lot of anger and shame because of what happened to them when they was younger. They don't want to look back. I'm talking about the parents. But you got to wake up, family. You got to wake up, mothers. You got to wake up, fathers. You got to wake up, parents. You got to take a look at yourself. Am I spreading sick behaviors towards my children? And if the answer is yes, get the proper help. Get the proper help. Psychological help. I'm talking about like therapy, counseling. You can even do family counseling, but get the proper help. Survival coping mechanism. Survival in a toxic environment may have required killing off creativity, vulnerability, or emotional needs, leading to hypervigilance or adult disassociation. Killing off that inner child. Bullying starts at home. Substance misuse. Addiction is often used to mute the emotional pain or a pain of a wounded child that feels too painful to handle. Remember what I talked about? The use at a very early age, trying to sedate whatever pain or whatever trauma that was going on in here. It wasn't until I got clean at 30 that I was able to actually go inside of myself. That's why, once again, when y'all hear me talk about the 12 step, my 12-step spiritual journey is an inside job. And this is the same stuff that we have to teach our children how to go inside and be truthful with themselves, to be honest with themselves, to have faith back in themselves, to trust back in themselves. In the process of doing this, family, with our children and adults, that gives them the courage and the confidence to talk about some of those things that's haunting them in the here and now. We can pray and we can ask God to remove this, remove that, but let me tell you this. Until you actually learn to deal and cope with those things, they're going to still be there. And it's not like he won't move them, but the thing is, you got to confront them. So we have a tendency, we're going to pray and we're going to ask God to remove this, to take that. And be honest with you, you haven't even accepted the fact of what happened to you. That's the whole point of learning to let it go. Practicing some acceptance, practicing some forgiveness, putting love in his place, putting compassion in his place. And all of this I'm talking about for you, for your insides, for that spiritual human being, for your spiritual growth. That's all I'm talking about, is the individual growing within the spirit. You don't have to use our young generation, the smugs, the drugs, the pills, the alcohol. You do not have to use those things to sedate whatever that's going on with you. And let me share this too. When I talk about an addictive personality, you could have a lot of younger people running around sleeping everywhere too. You get me? To sedate their feelings. Just like any grown adult. It could be food. It could be stealing. All of this is basically to suppress the pain. But it's going to come a time in your life where you're going to have to actually address them. How I know? Because once I got clean, I had to go inside of myself and look at self. The consequences of ignoring, the consequences of ignoring And then it say killing the child. Trying to destroy the inner child rarely works. It usually results in the trauma leaking into adulthood. What I say? Childhood trauma into adulthood, even if minor. Baltimore's Real Teen Talk Show, giving our youth a voice. Big Unk. Big Unk. It starts out with the voices of the parents. We listen, parents, and we do our best not to judge. We know the pain that we put on our youth. So now we have to take our responsibilities for the things we done to hurt them, to traumatize them, getting them the proper help they need and getting self the proper help. Relationships difficulties, insecure attachments, inability to trust, or toxic, controlling, and conversely, overly accommodating behaviors. Once again, it goes back to those obsessive and compulsive behaviors. And it can fall under the rule of, when I say this, it can fall under the rule. Come on, let me get this, clear this up. Let me look back at it again because it flew out my head, family. And I apologize for that. Relationship difficulties, insecurities, attachment, inability to trust, or toxic, controlling, or conversely, overly accommodating behaviors. And that goes back to the obsessive and the compulsive behaviors to me. Unhealthy obsessive and compulsive behaviors that has to become healthy. Persistent triggers. Persistent triggers. Intense emotional reactivity, sudden range, or severe anxiety in situations that mirror childhood, even in minors. I'm just thinking B Moore's Real Teen Talk Show. And I'm looking at our youth family. I'm looking at the adults. If we don't get to the root cause of why our children are doing what they're doing, they're going to continue doing it because we have not gotten to the root cause. Um, it goes from there to low self-esteem, a persistent internal diagnosis of shame and negativity, beliefs rooted in past validation failures. Therapeutic support, utilizing trauma focused therapy like EMDR or cognitive behavior therapy to process memories safely. That's why when that statement was made about killing off that child, you are destroying those memories. And it's not that easy. Let me just say that. You don't want to. You want to embrace that child as an adult. That's the whole goal of us having peace in the here and now as an adult. Self-reparenting, learning to set healthy boundaries and validating one's own needs, replacing old damaged internal voices with compassion. So all that negative stuff that tends to go on inside of us, and you know how I'll sit back and I'll share things like, I'm handsome, I'm a nice looking dude. A lot of that is just to build up on my self-esteem. And it has nothing personally to do with y'all. It's just I might be feeling down, I might be feeling out about something. You get me? So I would have to go inside and say things to build myself up. That's why when I say I'm a very handsome man, I'm a nice looking man, I'm a strong man, I'm a powerful king, it's to build up in here. Not just to build up, you got to believe deep in your spirit that is true. People will cut you down because they already down. And they will say things and do things to tear you apart because of them. But you got to know who you are deep inside. Support network, building a community of trusted people to break the cycle of isolation. And a lot of people, y'all know and understand. That's why a lot of our children tend to back up socially. They don't care to go out and enjoy themselves like most other, say, healthy teenagers. And we can say it for the parents as well, adults, right? But because it's the Be More's Real Teen Talk Show, I want to bring some things to the attention of the parents that we need to do for our youth. And it can start real young. And why I'm saying this, right, I'm just looking at a lot of the negative behaviors that I have been seeing with the outbreak of our youth. If you know your child or your children is getting involved with unhealthy stuff outside of the house, where it can land them behind bars or in the juvenile facility, you better talk to them. Now, I was reading a statement about the kids who went to, I believe, White Marsh, and they showed their butts. Somebody made a statement to the representative over there. Good luck as far as getting help to do what needs to be done for the children, disciplining them. They was making a statement saying that The police can't do but so much. But the juvenile, let me say this, facility can. If they're young enough to go, they're going to go. You have a lot of young men and women who caused a lot of harm from the age of 14, 15, stuff like that, right? And they're over in the juvenile facility. The moment they turn like 18, they are in the prisons with the adult men. Parents, we got some work to do. Even though y'all hear me, and I gotta go to Baltimore City, because that's where I'm from. But check this out. Y'all know when I go in my drawer, pull out my paper, right? And I have 50 names. Most of them are black owned businesses and nonprofits in Baltimore City. I'm going to start from number 10 and just go down to read a couple of names off. Kim Trueheart is up at the Liberty Rec. Squeaky, the Ruth Kirk Center. Uncle T worked with the youth program. I've been seeing some great things with Uncle T and the youth. Uncle T and his wife working with the young men and women. I'm blown away. I'm proud. Rock, call him Mr. C. He's down up on Rose Street. He worked with the youth, cleaning. Then we got Sean. Sean works at the mayor office. He worked with the youth program. Sean, I see a lot of his work that's being done on LinkedIn. Corey McCray, LinkedIn. These are how the people that I met personally and knowing the stuff that they do in the community. This is how I'm able to keep up with the work that's being done around Baltimore City from other nonprofits and businesses. We, ours, us. Janet Graham with the returning citizens. Then I found out she just don't work with adults. She worked with the youth as well. Getting them somewhere to stay and stuff like that, putting them in programs to turn their lives around. When I talk about Mike, Mike worked with the youth as well. It's a mentoring program, Be More City. Now, Be More's Real Teen Talk Show. Y'all know who that is. This Big Unk. I had to put it on the list. Carolyn White. I talked with her some years ago. She's worked with the youth. I met her some years ago. Shelly Stavani. Y'all know he's up Emerson. He works with the youth. Fathers and children. Roland Hall. DJ Steve. Then I got Roland Hall down here again for the girls basketball. He's a coach for the girls basketball team. I do this, family, mainly in Baltimore City, just in case you have some troubled children or a child that's out there running amok and you need to get them some proper help. or getting them in somewhere healthier for help being you know. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying. But I'm gonna tell y'all this, parents. I know a lot of y'all might feel bad, feel like you failed your child, your children. No, no, no. That's why when I come on the Couch Talk Show, when I come on the Team Talk Show, is to help you understand help is out there. Get your children the proper help that they need. My biggest thing with that, right? And I say it over and over and over. I do not, I do not want to see our young men and women in that big old slave plantation called the prison. And let me tell you, I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to say it again, because I want it to sink in, family. In Baltimore City, I haven't been back over there yet to see that they start building it. But it's $1 billion project, a prison that they're putting back up. $1 billion. And y'all know they need people to fill that building up. So they looking for our young men to continue running around with that destructive behavior. Behaviors. Sorry. They're looking to fill up this place. And this might be part two of another juvenile facility. Because I know it's probably basically for the men, but now this supposed to be more of a workforce development type thing, educational stuff. So they say. Look into it. Right there on Eagle Street. I remember when they first started building the juvenile facility. I delivered to it. Right there on Eagle Street in Greenmount. I delivered products to them. I remember back in the days when I drove tractor trailers, we used to take pallets of oodles and noodles and stuff like that into the prison. Well, the warehouse. As a tractor trailer driver, bread, oodles and noodles, whatever product that they order, we would we would deliver the pallets to the facilities. It's a place out in Elk Ridge that serves the prisons and the hospital. Commissary stuff. And what they feed them with as well. I used to deliver to the laundry part of it in Jessup. They would search down the truck. Supervisor would have to ride with me to the laundry area. I'm looking at our men in there sewing products for businesses to sell back. I'm seeing this stuff with my own two eyes. I'm seeing it. And the reason why a lot of them work like that is to have some money for commissary or just to have some money. It's only about $3 a day, if it's that much. but then it gives them something to do too. And I was reading up the other day, family. Keep in mind, I was reading up about slavery and about, because it's not gone. Slavery have not ended. It's just they do it another way now. It ain't nothing but cheap labor in a form of controlling you, dominating you. And I'm saying this because I don't understand how a lot of us can feel comfortable like this is a life for you. Why? I done heard some stories. Let me watch it. 3 hots in a cot. And you got men, you got women that don't want to take responsibilities for their own life. So they surrender it over to the system. Parents, we got to do better. I would never want to see little Steve behind bars. And I pray that he continue doing the right things. I know stuff can happen. I know all that. My 27-year-old ended up getting locked up for 30 days. She told everybody, don't tell me. And when she came home, she called me as she was riding with her mother to tell me where she been. Broke my heart. Because my thing is, we raised you better than that. But I understand people have to go through what they got to go through. I told her, get it off her record. It hurt me to my heart, y'all. I do not. My oldest daughter, on down to my son. It's a point of freedom. It's the point of them being able to go and come whenever they are pleased, whenever they pleased, you get me? If I feel like going out today, I can go. If I don't feel like going out today, I don't have to. It's a freedom. If I want to take a walk, I can take a walk. If I don't want to take a walk, I can do my little leg stuff. It's a freedom. I don't want to see our children there. I don't want to see adults there. I watched when I was over there. This time I'm over in the hospital, the prison hospital. I watched this white guy and his daughter coming through, and I knew exactly who they was. ACLU. They are a union for the prisoners that's not being treated right. They fight for their civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. But once you go to